G'day Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur hippie here. It's a misty mountain morning here in the Blue Mountains, and earlier this morning I had the pleasure of having Steve Perryman on the stream. I had a few technical issues as usual, but we got there. And if you haven't watched it, it was a very enjoyable hour. Time just flew by. Steve, because obviously I was a little bit nervous, I think, but Steve put me at ease before the thing, and I could just hear that guy talk for hours and hours about Tottenham. So check that out from earlier today, and Steve runs a podcast as well. Seems to be along the lines of how I like to do things. He just does it when he feels like it now and then. So it's not like every week or every month. It's just now and then you'll see a new podcast pop up, and I kind of like that. But I'm pumped. Having talked to Steve, I could always see why he's captain, but I'm so motivated now. It's incredible. I'm so pumped up after Steve's positivity about Ange Postecoglou and where the team's heading and the style of play that we're all enjoying at the moment. I think we're going to beat Newcastle 5-0 tomorrow now. I'm going to get carried away with the fairies. Good result for us this morning, of course. Arsenal going down to Aston Villa 1-0. So 3 points for us in the bag tomorrow would keep us right back up there, maybe things are still about going to happen at Tottenham. We're doing all right. I think we're doing all right. And Steve talked about Ange is the man that's setting the tone. You don't need a director of this and a supervisor of that. The gaffer's the gaffer, isn't it? You just do it. The only hope you've got in football, and this has been since day dot, the only hope you've got in football of being successful is just do what the manager says. Doesn't matter if you think he's right or wrong. The only way it works if you do what he says, and if you do what he says and it don't come off, then things change. But if you do what he says, it might lead to someone walking up the steps and lifting a trophy, and let's hope that that can happen sooner rather than later. But Steve was definitely buoyed about Ange, much more so than I expected, even though I knew he was a bit of a he likes what's happening. Steve criticised things like game management, other crap that I don't like myself, time wasting. You're 1-0 up and you're playing to the corner flag, you're kicking the ball off and all that. Garbage. Now, if you're 1-0 up, you go for 2-0 up. Something we've been struggling to do a little bit recently, but when it clicks, I think other teams are better watching out, because we're coming for you. So Steve after the show said he'd come back on any old time, so that was great. But I don't know, sometimes it is good to meet your heroes. The word legend gets overused these days, so that's why I didn't call Steve a legend, because everyone's a bloody legend these days, aren't they? Every person who ever kicked a ball is now a legend, and everything is iconic. So what happens when you meet someone like Steve? You can't use those words anymore because they've been utterly devalued. But man, what a thrill, absolute thrill, talking to a boyhood hero of mine, and I'm sure many people out there. And he didn't let me down. I'll put it that way. Didn't let me down, just as he never let us down when he was wearing the lily white shirt. Always put in a shift, always came off exhausted at the end of a game. Some great comments and stories about Bill Nicholson. And this is the Tottenham. We can't let our past be forgotten. I know it's something sometimes that is used as a point of derision by opposing fans. I don't give a shit what they say, though. I don't care. I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan, by far the greatest football team the world has ever seen. So why would I care what a Liverpool or Man United fan said? And these things are important about a football club. These stories that get passed down. So a statue of Bill Nicholson would get people talking. Who's that granddad or granny or aunt or whatever? And the stories continue, and they're an important part of the fabric of a football club. And we've got a great history, and hopefully we're on the verge of making a bit more history. If if we're all behind Ange and he gets a little bit of support from the owners, which we'll find out what the story with that is in January. But you know, we're not far off. We're not far off. It's a funny old game. It's always been a game of fine margins, and some of those margins are not quite going our way through luck and also ourselves as well. But the difference between the way we're doing at the moment and just beating everyone senseless, I think is actually quite small. We're playing good football. We just need to show a bit more commitment up front, and the boys will get there. They just got to get Steve Perryman in there and get him to talk to them, because I feel like running through a brick wall with what he was saying about Spurs. I'm so pumped. Like, you know, I was a bit nervous about perhaps the Newcastle game tomorrow. No, I'm not nervous now. I'm not nervous now. We're going to win 5-0, or I don't know, but we're going to play some damn good football. That's the important thing. We're going to play the Tottenham way. Tottenham way. Steve talked at length about the Tottenham way earlier. Anyway, I'm not going to say what he talked about. Go and watch it yourselves. Go and watch it yourselves. I'm going to enjoy today. Great big smile on my face. Thank you to Steve Perryman. Thank you to everyone that watched it this morning. So I couldn't get through all the comments. There was a lot of comments, and Steve was on full flow. I don't want to, you know, bring a guy like that on and then do all the talking. What's the point in that? I can do all the talking anytime I want. But you know, when you've got a guest like that, you've got to listen to him, man, because it was great, and I'm glad people out there enjoyed it. Anyway, folks, till next time, peace and love, man, and come on, you Spurs.